It's still Caitlin. It's still Nafisia Collier, Caitlin Clark, and Asia Wilson. Okay, less than 3 weeks, and that sort of shows you the power of Caitlin Clark, that she may miss, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, and for her MVP odds to be where they are. All right. Less than 3 weeks into the 2025 WNBA season, a clear pecking order has emerged in the MVP race. Nafisia Collier of the Minnesota Lynx.
The WNBA landscape has experienced dramatic shifts in ticket pricing as anticipation builds around Caitlin Clark's comeback to the Indiana Fever roster. After experiencing significant drops during her absence, admission costs have begun climbing rapidly as fans prepare for her anticipated return to action. Market analysis reveals substantial fluctuations in ticket values corresponding directly to Clark's availability. During the period when her participation remained uncertain, prices plummeted across multiple venues. However, recent developments suggesting her imminent return have triggered an opposite reaction, with costs escalating dramatically for games where her presence is expected.
Indiana Fever star Caitlin Clark and reigning MVP Asia Wilson of the Las Vegas Aces, and then everybody else, according to the odds makers. All three of those have leaped way out in front of everybody else. Also, this is going to help. Look, missing time does not help the case at all for MVP, but what it does, and we're seeing it.
Current MVP race standings continue to reflect Clark's influence despite her temporary absence from competition. The latest odds positioning shows Nafisa Collier of the Minnesota Lynx leading at -250, followed by Clark at +450, and defending champion Aja Wilson trailing at +. This ranking system demonstrates Clark's sustained relevance in championship discussions even while sidelined with injury concerns. The odds reveal a significant gap between the top 3 contenders and remaining candidates. Brianna Stewart sits at +5,000, while other potential winners like Aaliyah Boston present long-shot opportunities at +150. Boston's improved performance metrics this season show promise, averaging close to double-digit rebounds alongside nearly 17 points per contest.
It shows the league, the media, everybody that covers it, holy crap, look at what this team looks like without Caitlin Clark. That in itself, and I've seen it in the NFL, that can shine a light. Oh, look how hard it is for this team to win without Caitlin Clark. She comes back. If they start winning a bunch of games, that could help her actually. So it's a bit of a catch-22.
Injury absence typically eliminates players from MVP consideration entirely. However, Clark's situation presents unique circumstances where her unavailability has actually highlighted her value to the Fever organization. The team's struggles without their star player have emphasized her essential role, potentially strengthening her case if she returns to dominant form. Ticket pricing data from various platforms reveals stunning increases for upcoming matchups. Selected games against teams like the Sun, Mystics, and Sky show price jumps reaching 3.66% in certain sections. Specific examples include Section 120 seats, increasing from 86.25 to 140.30 for Sun matchups, representing a 62.7% premium.
Those three have a tremendous jump start on the rest of the contenders for the league's top individual award. Collier remains atop the field. Clark's MVP hopes remain stagnant after missing her first WNBA games due to injury. She is expected to be out for at least another week. So let's go down here. It's a breakdown of the MVP odds. Here it is. You got a -250 for Nafisia Collier. Got Caitlin Clark at a +450.
Advertising revenue concerns have escalated as networks and sponsors grapple with programming adjustments. Commercial partners who invested heavily in Clark-featured games now face uncertain returns on their marketing investments during her recovery period. Real-world impact extends beyond simple statistics to affect individual families and travel plans. Colorado resident John Kopecki exemplifies this phenomenon, having invested approximately $3,000 in flights, accommodations, and tickets for a family trip to Indianapolis. Upon learning of Clark's injury, the family immediately canceled their travel arrangements and donated their tickets to local contacts, rescheduling their visit for August instead. This pattern has repeated across numerous markets as fans prioritize seeing Clark over supporting the Fever organization generally. Many acknowledge being Clark fans before Fever fans, viewing her as the primary attraction driving their interest in attending games.
Asia Wilson, a plus 700. Oh, her fans ain't going to like that one damn bit. Let's scroll down here, and then it drops all the way down to a plus 5,000 for Brianna Stewart. I mean, wow. I'm going to tell you one that, if you got a hundo, if you got a hundo to put $100 down on Aaliyah Boston.
Secondary market ticket prices for immediate upcoming games have experienced dramatic collapses exceeding 300% in some instances. The United Center in Chicago, normally commanding premium prices for Fever visits, has seen values plummet as demand evaporates without Clark's confirmed participation. Stadium capacity concerns have emerged as venues prepare for potentially sparse attendance during Clark's absence. Large arenas that typically fill to capacity for her appearances may present unflattering television images with extensive empty seating sections visible to broadcast audiences.
I'm not telling you what to do with your money, but at a plus 15,000, that's a hell of a payoff if she was to pull it out. I talked about how much better her numbers are looking right now versus last year. Don't look now. She's averaging nearly a double-double. Okay, getting very close. 16.8 points a game, like 9.5 rebounds a game, something like that.
Personal accounts from media members confirm the pricing volatility patterns. Sports journalists who purchase tickets for upcoming games report current market values falling to less than half their original purchase prices, with projections suggesting even deeper discounts by game time. The ripple effects extend beyond Indianapolis to visiting cities hosting Fever road games. Baltimore's Mystics matchup, relocated to a 14,000-seat venue, faces potential attendance challenges that could create awkward viewing experiences for television audiences.
Getting close to averaging a double-double. The Indy Star collected data from Ticketmaster and found that selected ticket prices for Clark's future matchups against the Sun, Mystics, and Sky, in which she is expected to play, increased by as much as 366%. The most expensive ticket in Section 120 for Friday's contest.
Tourism and hospitality industries in affected markets are experiencing secondary impacts as families cancel vacation plans built around Clark appearances. Indianapolis particularly benefits from visiting fans who travel significant distances specifically to witness her performances, treating games as destination entertainment rather than casual local events. The atmosphere quality that television broadcasts capture from Clark games has attracted fans seeking premium live entertainment experiences. Many describe the energy as comparable to NBA playoff intensity, making Indianapolis an attractive road trip destination for basketball enthusiasts nationwide.
Against the Sun cost $86.25. When Indiana hosts the Sun June 17th, a ticket in the same section will cost $140.30, a 62.7% increase. The price difference for a seat nearer to the court when the Mystics return to town August 15 is more consumer friendly. A seat in section 116 on Tuesday will cost.
Geographic accessibility plays a role in fan travel decisions, with Indianapolis presenting logistical advantages over more congested metropolitan areas. Visitors often prefer the manageable urban environment compared to navigating complex transportation systems in larger cities. Recovery timeline uncertainties continue affecting long-term planning for both individual fans and venue operators. While initial projections suggested extended absence periods, recent practice footage showing Clark attempting three-point shots has generated optimism for quicker return schedules. League expansion of game schedules provides some mitigation for the reduced availability window. Additional contests throughout the season offer more opportunities for fans to witness Clark's performances, though the compressed timeline still creates urgency for securing tickets.
So Caitlin Clark yesterday was arguing with referees, and as expected, yeah, they're trying to get her banned. They're trying to get Caitlin Clark suspended. It is genuinely, they're trying to get her suspended.
The situation reveals the evolving nature of professional women's sports, where individual personalities can transcend traditional team loyalties to create national followings. Clark's influence extends beyond typical fan demographics to attract mainstream attention previously reserved for male professional leagues. Financial planning challenges affect both primary and secondary ticket markets as uncertainty prevents accurate demand forecasting. Venue operators, resellers, and individual purchasers all face decision-making difficulties when star player availability remains questionable. The phenomenon illustrates broader trends in sports entertainment consumption, where fans increasingly follow specific athletes rather than maintaining traditional geographical or organizational allegiances. This shift creates new marketing opportunities while challenging conventional revenue models.
They're trying to get her suspended. And by the way, this is coming from the same people that try to get her kicked out of the league. So, there is a tweet going semi-viral right now. And by the way, there's a lot more. There is a lot more tweets in this. This is just the one that I've seen. And this is just a funny thing. But obviously, look. This is a tweet from somebody, and I'm not going to show their Twitter because at the end of the day, I don't think there's any point calling out individuals. I think it's more just a broader problem that we're calling out.
Recovery expectations continue evolving as additional information becomes available about Clark's rehabilitation progress. Each update significantly impacts market confidence and pricing structures across multiple venues and dates. The situation demonstrates the interconnected nature of modern sports economics, where individual player health decisions create cascading effects throughout entire entertainment ecosystems involving media, hospitality, transportation, and retail sectors. Broadcasting networks have adjusted their programming strategies to accommodate the uncertainty surrounding Clark's availability. Production teams must now develop contingency plans for games that may lack their primary draw, potentially affecting advertising rates and viewer engagement metrics. Network executives are reconsidering promotional campaigns that heavily featured Clark's participation.
So, this was the original tweet. Is it okay to come on the floor and argue the ref? I can guarantee you the commissioner will think nothing is wrong since it's Clark. And in the last week, that same person has tweeted this. And she was the original person that made the viral tweet. With 1.7 million views, saying you need to take a closer look at why Clark was pressuring her coach to be let back in the game when they were up over 20 points. It resulted in Dave Portnoy placing a bet.
Merchandise sales patterns have also shifted significantly during this period. Retail outlets report fluctuating demand for Clark-related apparel and accessories, with some locations experiencing inventory challenges as consumer purchasing behavior becomes unpredictable. Licensed product manufacturers face similar uncertainties in production planning. Social media engagement surrounding WNBA content has demonstrated measurable changes correlating with Clark's status updates. Platform analytics show decreased interaction rates on league-sponsored content during her absence, while posts featuring her recovery progress generate disproportionately high engagement levels. Sponsorship activation strategies require continuous adjustment as corporate partners navigate the volatile landscape. Companies that invested in Clark-centric campaigns must explore alternative approaches or delay major initiatives until her return timeline becomes clearer. This uncertainty affects quarterly marketing budgets and campaign effectiveness measurements.
No, that's just not false. For a triple-double, he won over 300 grand, tagging the commissioner. And then, the next day, tweeted out this. Did WNBA comms Neka Wumke know that Sophie Cunningham was sleeping with her GM? There is an ethic code. Great spelling there. Capital E. Great. Code. Was there an ethic code violations?
Youth basketball participation programs report increased interest in areas where Clark was scheduled to appear. Community organizations and youth leagues that plan special events around her visits have either postponed activities or modified programs to maintain engagement despite her unavailability. International viewership data reveals Clark's global appeal extends beyond domestic markets. Overseas broadcasting partners have expressed concerns about programming schedules and audience retention during her absence, highlighting her role in expanding the WNBA's international footprint.
Great grammar. Is that the reason she was traded? And again, this person is literally, so in the last 10 days, has called for Caitlin Clark to be investigated for fraud, tagging the WNBA. And again, do you want to know what the funniest thing about all of this is? Is that I would think nothing of this if it wasn't for the fact that WNBA have literally opened an investigation based on Twitter. Well, almost certainly based on Twitter. And again, I got to be, well, not entirely careful with my words. I'm a guy who talks into a microphone, but
Casino and sports betting operators have experienced unusual volatility in WNBA wagering patterns. Odds calculations become more complex when star players face uncertain availability, affecting both individual game lines and season-long proposition bets. This market instability influences revenue projections for gaming establishments. Team chemistry dynamics within the Indiana Fever organization present additional complexities as players adapt to modified roles and responsibilities. Coaching staffs must implement alternative strategies while maintaining competitive standards, creating development opportunities for bench players who receive increased playing time. Medical staff protocols and injury management approaches have gained heightened scrutiny as organizations balance player health with competitive and commercial pressures. The transparency of injury reporting affects fan confidence and market stability across the league.
And again, if the investigation was not based on Twitter, if it was not based on the Twitter stuff, then I am fully willing to take every single video down I've ever talked about the investigation. If I'm issue an apology, to be honest. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If I'm right, I'm right. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But we are literally looking now at people out there trying to get Caitlin Clark freaking banned from a game.
Stadium operations personnel face logistical challenges in managing varying attendance levels. Concession planning, security staffing, and facility maintenance requirements all require adjustment based on anticipated crowd sizes that fluctuate with Clark's participation status. Local business communities and host cities experience economic ripple effects from changed attendance patterns. Restaurants, hotels, and retail establishments near venues report revenue variations corresponding to game day traffic levels, which depend heavily on marquee player appearances. Academic researchers studying sports economics have identified Clark's situation as a unique case study in individual athlete market influence. Universities are incorporating real-time data from her absence period into curriculum materials for sports business and economics programs. Player union representatives monitor the situation closely as it demonstrates the concentrated nature of league revenue generation. Contract negotiations and collective bargaining discussions may reference this precedent when addressing star player compensation and injury protection policies.
Banned from a game that, banned due to a game that she didn't even freaking play in. She didn't even play in the game. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Like, that's all I'm going to say is, what are we doing? Like, I'm just in shock. I'm just in shock. Like,
The broader women's sports landscape observes these developments as potentially indicative of future growth patterns and market vulnerabilities. Other leagues and organizations analyze the WNBA's experience to inform their own strategic planning and player development priorities. Technology platforms specializing in sports analytics are developing new metrics to quantify individual player economic impact based on Clark's situation. These tools may become standard industry resources for evaluating athlete value beyond traditional performance statistics. Recovery timeline projections continue evolving as medical evaluations provide updated information about Clark's rehabilitation progress. Each milestone achieved or delayed creates immediate market reactions across multiple sectors dependent on her participation. The precedent established by this situation may influence future league policies regarding star player management, injury disclosure protocols, and market stability measures. WNBA leadership faces decisions that could reshape how similar situations situations are handled in subsequent seasons.
Oh, it's not even real life. And again, this would be nothing. Like, it's obviously not real life, it's social media. And people are like, why are you making videos on this? One, because I think it's something that needs to be talked about and called out, because until the WNBA stop taking random Twitter accounts with like a full red color as a profile picture is an actual person, until the WNBA show that they are going to stop literally.
Long-term implications for women's professional sports development include potential changes in how individual athletes are marketed and protected as league assets. The concentration of fan interest in specific players creates both opportunities and risks that require careful management. Financial modeling systems used by sports organizations are being updated to better account for star player impact scenarios. These improvements aim to provide more accurate forecasting for situations where key athletes face extended absences. The situation has generated increased media coverage of women's basketball beyond Clark's immediate circle, as journalists explore the broader implications of her influence on league operations and fan engagement patterns throughout the sport.